exposition of all things. If you're in a tussle, if you got satanic forces moving against you, you don't have to know all of that, what they over there up to. Just open up the Quran. The Quran tell you, right, exactly what they're doing. Why? Because the people who are like them always do the same things to people who are like you. If you are trying to do historical Quranic work, then you're following the pattern of the prophets, peace be upon them. And there ain't no prophet coming after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you do the work right now, if you and I do that work right now, we're filling in the mission of the prophet, peace be upon him. What Allah told him to look out for and explain to him all the stuff that was going on. Why? Because those people always do the same things. Because the good people always run up against the same obstacles in history. That's just the way it is. I'm just going to breeze over the same thing in Muhammad Asad. I'll try to be quick. Oh, you have attained to faith, remain conscious of Allah and always speak with the will to bring out only what is just and true. Whereupon he will cause your deeds to be virtuous and will forgive your sins. And know that whoever pays heed unto Allah and his apostle has already attained a mighty triumph. In other words, there come a time when you have to speak a word directed toward the right. Kal, aqul, sadidan means to speak a word that is direct. So there comes a time when you have to speak the right word. We went over Joseph and his brothers and how bad they was acting. We'll keep on moving. That means, for our understanding, no reproach. La tatra. No reproach this day. That means that shaitan gets hold to people and make them act a fool. And may work directly against you all the time. But there are millions of people dying on a regular basis around the world. Unbelievable slaughter and murder. If the good people, the Quran is clear that if Allah didn't have the good people check the bad people, there would be many churches, synagogues, and mosques in which Allah's name would be pulled down. It would be much wholesale death and destruction. So we can see what our mission is. Okay. Again, O my sustainer, thou hast indeed bestowed upon me something of power and hast imparted unto me some knowledge of the inner meaning of happenings. I like that. It's pretty good. Originator of the heavens and earth, thou art near unto me in this world and in the life to come. Let me die as one who has surrendered himself unto thee, and make me one of the righteous. This account of something that was beyond the reach of thy perception, something that was guided, didn't have. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have access to this information. We now reveal unto thee, O prophet, for thou wert not with Joseph's brothers when they resolved upon what they were going to do and wove their schemes and plans. You wasn't there. You don't know nobody that was there, and you don't know nobody that was Torah specialist or anything else that could give you a hint at it so you could correct the rendition. It's beyond the range of your perception, so it has to be revealed. So yet, however strongly thou mayest desire, most people will not believe in this revelation. Don't make you argue on it. Although thou dost not ask of them any reward for it, you ask no money, you ask no praise, pat on the back. It is but God's reminder unto all mankind. But then, how many a sign is there in the heavens and the earth which they pass by unthinkingly, and on which they turn their backs? Signs everywhere. It's all in the paper. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. Say, O prophet, this is my way, resting upon conscious insight, accessible to reason. I am calling you all unto Allah, I and they who follow me. This is really critical and it's simplistic. This is my way. Now, this is what the prophet is saying. Resting upon conscious insight, aql, reason. Clearly accessible to everybody. Everybody can see this. This is not guide. This is not takes a deep thinker to see it. I'm calling you all unto Allah, I and those who follow me, and say, limitless is Allah in His glory, and I am not one of those who ascribe divinity to Allah. Have they who reject divine writ never journeyed about in the earth and held, when we talk about history, and beheld what happened in the end to those deniers of truth who lived before them? And do they not know that to those who are conscious of Allah, the life and the hereafter is indeed better than this world? Will they not then use their reason? All the early apostles had to suffer persecution for a long time. But at last, when those apostles had lost hope and saw themselves branded as liars, this is some of the prophets, man, forget these people. Our succor attained to them, whereupon everyone who will be saved will save, and deniers of the truth will destroy. For never can our punishment be averted from people who are lost in sin. Indeed, in the stories of these men, there is a lesson for those endowed with insight. As for this revelation, it could not be possible be a discourse invented by man. Nay, indeed, it is a divine confirming the truth of whatever there still remains of earlier revelations, clearly spelling out everything and offering guidance and grace unto people who will believe. We won't go over all the footnotes, but everything is clear. Now to just go over a few things. We have here today's paper. Okay? You got to think about it now. We asked Allah and we threatened the system. We're going to clown y'all. We're going to slap the urine out of you. Of course, you mess with us. Of course, we'd say we just messing with you. And we're going to make a fool out of you. We were just asking for 10% foolery, not 99.9% foolery, right? This is wonderful here. I'm not going to go into it in depth, but did y'all see that? This is Is Trump mentally ill or is America mentally ill? And they got him in the presidential chair with a straitjacket. That's a straitjacket. No, this is the guy.
Oh, man.
And they got a whole, Brother Tufel has it. I read the article, it's psychiatrist after psychiatrist. And you know how white folks use language about behavior. His behavior spells paranoia, schizophrenia, fat-headedness, and all kind of, boy, I'd hate to go to the parole board and the psych that said about me what they said about Don. Boy, Don, and Don, all the white folks, all the news, I swore, I said, I had enough, I ain't gonna listen. But they make so much fun of him, I have to listen, because I have to have something to talk about. So, all of the people around the world, can you imagine? Don got everything. They said, Don, you're going to threaten the people with blowing up all 25 million people. And you done threatened them 50 times. You threatened, I'm going to pour 2 pounds of slop on your mama's house. He said, I'm going to pour 300 pounds of slop on your whole family's grave and your mama's house. And this fool keep doing it. See, number one, there's no military solution to that, because it's not that the Koreans got an atomic bomb, probably. Maybe they got a shell one from China. But China is not going to put up with it. China's already mad that the people is in Korea. The Koreans don't want America there because they have a sunshine policy. That means we Koreans, we want to get back together. The only one don't want them to get back together is the Americans. So they arrange all kind of fitna. They sunk a ship a long time ago, a few years back. 62 South Korean sailors was killed. They tried to blame it on North Korea. The Russians said, we didn't see torpedoes like that, and they ain't even got no torpedoes like that. So it couldn't have been them. Everybody is telling Don. The French came up and said, well, no, man, we ain't going for that. And this deal is between 5 of us with you and them. And all of us is with them. Ain't none of us with you. And Iran says, well, if the U.S. break the thing, fine. We'll stick with all the 5. That's just smart. Because every now and then they'll come out and say, we're going to do separation that was appropriate. Everybody already hates America, right? If a dumb fool in Iran come out and say anything stupid, and they already winning, I'm going to get on TV and say that man is a CIA agent, you know. Of course, a lot of people don't believe it too, because they know I ain't been lying all these years. Right? So Don, I didn't mark the stuff off. Is Trump mentally, go ahead.
Why don't you read this part?
No, go ahead.
Calling Trump crazy allows us to avoid confronting the craziness in our society.
Right.
We can't expect to change Trump, but we must work to undo the societal delusions that created him. People tend to regard the Trump moment, this post-truth, alternative facts moment, as some inexplicable and crazy new American phenomenon. In fact, what's happening is just the ultimate extrapolation and expression of attitudes and instincts that have made America exceptional for its entire history. So depending on which of these books you trust, you might conclude that Trump is of unsound mind, or that we're the deranged ones for electing him, or that America has always been disturbed, with Trump's presidency just the latest manifestation.
I couldn't ask for no more. We couldn't ask no more. The white folks are saying, Trump is crazy, and we crazy too. And see, remember, they was in denial. America was like dope fiends, remember? I ain't got no habit, I ain't no fool, I ain't, right? Everybody look, you lost your house, you lost your car, you lost your family. And you got tracks all up and down your arm, now you're shooting in here, shooting in your veins, shooting in your neck. And finally you say, I am a dope fiend. This is what America. Trump brought them to the mirror. They had a way out. This is wonderful. We didn't ask for this much. Tell the truth. We were saying we're gonna make a fool out of you. We're gonna have fun. We had no idea that this article would appear. Just like the Negro article, we had no idea that they would be, what are they, depressed or something, for being set aside. I don't know what happened to them. Everybody, here we are with all the problems that they call problems. Everything happened. You get put in jail, I took another thing out of the car the other day, the screws, the tire, everything. All the time. Here we are happy, having a good time, and real about it. And here's old Don. He rolling. Now, I want to say something before I forget. Remember about forecasting. The old American is real dirty. When he realized that he had set up this wonderful thing for us, he wanted to undermine it. So, Syria, almost all the Daesh is just about knocked over. They got a little bit more to go. Same thing in Iraq, right? So here they come with the Kurdish issue. Okay, the Kurdish issue, the Americans say we don't want that, but the Americans, now these Kurds, they so crazy. See, the Kurds and the Israelis get along. Now, they got to be mentally, of course, in earlier times, we were against the Syrian government and we were pro-Kurds. We're still pro-Kurds, but in the right way. See, you got Kurds in Iraq, a big crew. You got Kurds in Iran, a big crew. You got Kurds in Syria, a big crew. Okay. You got Kurds in Turkey. This is the main crew. Okay. In 91, when they had the Gulf War and Saddam was knocking all the Kurds and everything over real big, when they had Halabja in 88, the poison gas, the Kurds went all the way around and went to the mountains of Iran instead of going to Turkey. Because Iran treats its Kurds better. But they're all part of these national identities. None of those countries want a big Kurdistan at this time. Okay. Remember the reason we talked before about the old unity between the Safavid dynasty, Mughal dynasty, and Uthmaniyya. Well, we're heading that way. Now, of course, you saw the dates on that old stuff. Okay. Now, guess what? Not only a strategic alliance, but a new alliance with the right one to take the heat. Who's going to take the heat? Turkey is going to do all the invasion and everything. Because the guy keeps saying, Barzani keeps saying, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. It's a bad thing to do right now. It's bad to do. We do support people's independence, but right now is the wrong time to do that because it destabilizes everybody, and the Israelis and the Americans, you can see they're too stupid that they're going to have the Zionist flag and Kurds is doing. Now, of course, our best friends are Kurds, but this is the wrong time to do that. Okay, you got to remember now, no matter what happens, we don't have the power to make it happen. We don't have the power to unify the old empires. But the mean old white man does. And just like him in Saudi Arabia did Daesh and everything else and caused regional unity with Iran at the top, right? With Hezbollah at the top. With Syria coming back in now, with more of a flavor, an Islamic flavor. It's got to, because everybody is Hezbollah, offshoot, Iran, offshoot, Iraq got a little Islamic flavor under Saddam. So the flavor of that region is Islam. Don't worry about it a little bit later. Eastern province in Saudi Arabia is coming along, and Bahrain. Why? Because they won't stop and rest and leave people alone.
The leader of Bahrain over there is talking about normalizing relationships with the Israelis, you know, like they're going to be cut buddies. So he's helping the situation too.
All of the dummies, Qatar is small, but Qatar got big money. And Qatar is not crying uncle, they are. Right? And Qatar is now in bed with who? Oh, people. With Iran. Okay. Now, do we have the ability to weave this together? Who can do it? The white man, but he has to do it with treachery. What does it tell Turkey? You've been our best homeboy and kissing our behind since World War II, but F you. We want to do this and all this service you did to us. You didn't even taken 3 million people back from Europe and we've given you half the money to keep them in Turkey, right? But we don't care about the Kurds against you. The Kurds is our home folk. You don't count. It's clear as that. That's why, who's foaming at the mouth? Turkey. Who's his homeboy? I haven't seen you in 500 years, man. I was missing you. I've been dreaming about Iran. Oh, well, me too. Well, we've been dreaming about you, writing books about you. Oh, my goodness. And we cousins anyway. We were right there on the border. We look the same. Long lost brothers. Nobody can do that. But the white man, remember, everything we're doing right now, we don't have the power to do it. All of this stuff that everybody was jumping up and down with, people drawing guns, people giving us front page stuff, we don't have the power to do that. We've talked for years, we got to get a hook to get people, we've talked how to get As-Sabiqun message to the world. Who we are, what we're about. We got to get something, and here they come. They're going to take our property. They're going to do this, they're going to do this. This is, of course, impossible. And we're going to lay on them. I'm telling you, no matter what you think, we laid on them, we delayed on them, and delayed on them. And right now, I've been headed back to Oakland for I don't know how long. We will eventually get there soon. But when we get ready to get there, just happen to roll some tar. I don't know if you see this stuff. No, I was in the car. I looked, I said, man, I can't leave today. I got to roll the tar on the roof. You know those big cans of tar? And I said, don't call it. I said, don't worry about it. We ain't got no schedule. Go when we get ready. But when we get to Oakland, we already got it laid out. All the stuff we talked about. Yes.
And then don't forget the Turkey been crying about being into the European Union, and they've been telling the whole time, we don't want you. And they keep on crying, we want to be in, and we don't want you.
We don't want you. You know, Turkey prided itself in wanting to be a doormat for Europe and not wanting to rule over. Turkey was the Ottoman Empire. It's the gateway to Europe. The Bosporus Straits on that side is Europe, and the other side is Asia, whatever they call it. Okay. The Orient Express, all that, Matahari, the Spiley. That's a long time ago. That's over 100 years ago. Good God Almighty. But anyway, what about us? How does all of this affect us? It affects us because we're the only one to tell them this is how it's going to happen. Because they're not thinking about it. Iran's not thinking about it? No, I take it back. Iran is on a roll. Allah put a free seat. The election, Khatami, right? Oh, he's saying stuff that that doesn't really exist the way he's saying it. It's like on somewhere around the 13th to the 19th of April 2013, Mukhtar got up after Juma and said to the people, I am not the police. That's insinuating that I said he's the police. He's trying to cause fitna. Then there's about 10 other guys that then strolled in, Sunniyata and all of them, all the troublemakers. They had left and they went over to different places. But now they're going to converge back there. Because Abdul-Malik has been gone now, good God Almighty, about 3 or 4 years by then. 4 years, man, 5 years by then. Because if he left 2008, that's 6 that time be rolling, that's 5 years. And our stuff, 5 years don't amount to nothing. So, we just dealt with it, there's no problem. But, all of them on one team. Now think about all the stuff that happens everywhere. All of the enemies of Islam can do anything to us that they want. The police can arrest me all they want. Mukhtar and them can pull all the guns they want. Can you imagine? See? The police can arrest me, and they actually, like I said, they actually jumped on me twice. No, 3 times. It was twice. 6th District, then downtown, then when I was in Oakland. Can you imagine? We're in the Masjid in Oakland, and and Mukhtar brings 12 police cars there at 12:32 at night. And they arrest me for trespassing, and I got my name on the deed. Masjid al-Islam, so-and-so signed for it, for trespassing. But they just drove over all of that. They go to the bank, and they just say, here, you can have his money. It's a DC account. Whatever it is, we raised all of that. They didn't raise it. Okay, we go out there and we'll pay something like, imagine what we deal with and we smile about it. We pay taxes. Like, we done bought all this property. We got here 8 pieces of property. We pay taxes. Okay. We didn't buy them to have them sitting there. We bought them to improve, to build on. That's what all of them are there. People come by and tell us, well, you could sell one, and then you could get that money, then you could build. I said, no, we don't build on all of this. You know why? Every time we get close to getting ready to build something, either somebody needs some money or the government snatches the money and run off. Every time. All the time. Forget about legalities. We get to that later. Oh, we win all this stuff legally, but we'll win it when we get ready. Okay, now that means here, imagine if one of the brothers is asked to take care of, say, you see where I cut grass all the time and all that. But if I were to let our grass get 1 inch above anything, they'd have something on there. And then they wouldn't send it to me, they would hold it. Like they used to do warrants all the time. The warrant's supposed to go in a drawer, and then the warrants are sent out to people that you have a warrant and come out and pay it. The police would snatch the warrants out of the desk and keep them themselves. So when they see me, they have probable cause to stop me. Because I have a warrant. It's just a traffic warrant. It doesn't make no difference. But they might be able to tow my car. They might be able to search the car. They might be able to, they got probable cause to stop me. Right? So, if we stay on our property all the time, but we put somebody on it that handles some business with them, and all of a sudden, we get a thing last year, it says $3,050. They show a picture of a piece of paper on, yeah, that's a deck of line. It's a piece of paper over on HP. Well, why didn't you just send us a thing? Well, we sent it to you. I said, I don't have that. You go to a hearing, they said, no, you should have known better. We'll get it all back in the future because it's a lie. But that's $3,000. Imagine in Philadelphia, they got my ex-wife.